Hello friends, this is Sam Chaney reporting from WeaponizedNews.com. Today's June 12th, 2016. 50 dead in gay nightclub shooting, worst in U.S. history. Saturday night slaughter. He was wearing a suicide vest, opened fire on dance floor, blood everywhere. Music stopped, then screams. 50 killed in Florida nightclub terror attack. Multiple gunshots heard. Let's take a listen.
Oh my god, people are getting shot, dude.
Get out of here.
Oh my god, dude.
This guy's firing off shots.
So that's a Snapchat video of gunshots being heard at the scene. 50 dead in Orlando mass shooting. Senator says possible link to Islamic terrorism. 50 dead in Orlando nightclub terrorism attack. State of emergency declared. Terrorist was organized and well prepared during deadly nightclub mass shooting, official says. Now let's get to the big boil down of the Daily Mail. Worst mass shooter in U.S. history. New York City born Islamic extremist Omar Mateen, 29, who shot dead 50 people and injured 53 in Orlando gay club massacre, was a homophobe who got angry when he saw two men kissing. Suspected Islamic extremist opened fire inside Pulse Gay Club in Orlando in the early hours of Saturday morning, actually Sunday morning. Law enforcement sources have identified the shooter as U.S. citizen Omar Mateen from Port St. Lucie in Florida. He killed at least 50 people and injured 53 and took partygoers hostage before being killed by police. Shooter 29 was carrying a suspicious device, possibly a suicide vest, when he began shooting in the nightclub. Police used an explosive device to distract the gunman and rescue around 30 people who had been taken hostage. Police engaged in gunfire with the man, and an officer was shot in the head but was saved by his helmet. FBI says gunmen may have leanings toward radical Islamic terrorism, and it is being investigated as an act of terrorism, and might I add, a hate crime, because as everyone knows, Muslims do not accept the gay lifestyle, the LGBT lifestyle. So that's why we must reconcile the difference between left-wing liberals preaching tolerance of radical Muslim Islamic terrorists, because they will kill gays, as is evident by the worst mass shooting in U.S. history. So political correctness must end, and this issue must be taken very seriously. Also coinciding with the largest mass shooting in U.S. history, over 50 dead, was the singer from The Voice, Christine Grammy, 22, who was also shot dead on Friday in Orlando, Florida. So Florida has seen a lot of murder shootings in the last 3 days. The suspected Islamic extremist who slaughtered at least 50 people after taking partygoers hostage inside a gay Orlando nightclub was angry after seeing two men kissing. Law enforcement sources have identified the shooter, who was wielding an AR-15 assault rifle and a handgun, as U.S. citizen Omar Mateen, 29, from Florida. The gunman, who was born to Afghanistan parents, was carrying a suspicious device, possibly a suicide vest, when he opened fire on the dance floor inside Pulse in the early morning hours. Here's a picture of the terrorist taking selfies. And we're going to go through some pictures of the crime scene here. A woman sits on the ground outside the club while party goers escape. Her legs are covered in blood. You can see right there. Emergency services are pictured in the scene outside the Pulse nightclub. Distraught victims outside. It's an unbelievable scene of mass murder. More distraught victims. SWAT team, Orange County SWAT team department arrived on the scene and fatally shot the terrorist. Full-on militarized police state gear. More scenes from the terrorist attack. Writing on Facebook, Pulse, which described itself as the most prominent gay nightclub in Orlando, urged partygoers to get out and keep running as bullets started flying at its club around 2 a.m. Orlando Police Chief John Mina said the suspect exchanged gunfire with an officer working at the nightclub around 2 a.m., then went inside and took hostages. There were about 320 people inside the club at the time of the shooting, and about 100 people were taken hostage. Around 5 a.m., authorities sent in a SWAT team to rescue the hostages. 9 hero officers used a controlled explosion to distract the shooter before fatally shooting him, and were able to rescue about 30 hostages who were hiding in the bathroom of the club. During the gunfire, an officer was shot, but he was saved by his helmet. More scenes, more pictures from the scene of injured victims. Truly amazing. Again, worst mass shooting in U.S. history by a radical Islamic terrorist. A hate crime. So we have terrorism and a hate crime, all in one package. There's the officer's helmet who was shot. Pulse shooting. The shooter is inside the club and dead. And that's a tweet out of Orlando Police Department. Another tweet by them. We can confirm this is a mass casualty situation. Calling for support from local, state, and federal agencies. And it just goes on from there. More photos from the scene. People are already mourning. Sources are talking about the suspect was wearing a bomb vest, a suicide vest. Tweets from inside the club. 4 of us are still hiding. Lights are out. Cops are here but haven't got us yet. He's strapped with a bomb. Truly, truly amazing. And this ties in with ISIS announced Florida threat 3 days ago. We will attack Florida. And so ISIS made this announcement 3 days ago. ISIS unveiled U.S. kill list last week, including 600 Florida residents, in the wake of the tragic event that took place at an Orlando, Florida nightclub, the Pulse, early Sunday morning, that left 50 dead and 53 wounded. At the time of this writing, it has been discovered that the shooter, Omar Mateen, was on a watch list over his association with suspicious people. What will likely attract attention and potentially lead to inquiries into why nothing was done in response is that only a few days ago, a pro-ISIS group released a hit list with the names of more than 8,000 people on it, mostly Americans. One report said that more than 600 people from Florida were on the kill list. And all this ties into Obama administration surge agenda threatening U.S. with 100 Syrian refugees per day. The Obama administration has created a resettlement surge center which has produced a pouring of 100 Syrian refugees in the U.S. per day. The very real risk to Americans, the lack of proper vetting of these individuals by the quick processing that is done. Almost all of them are reported to be Muslims. So, who's to blame for this? Well, we know the Obama administration and the left-wing anti-gunners are going to blame gun owners because political correctness, we cannot call this what it was, a radical Islamic terrorist act, a hate crime against gays. So we have to blame gun owners, and we have to continue to take in unvetted refugees who are the majority Muslim into this country so we can have further terrorist attacks. And why does everyone in America have to be spied on and no terrorism is stopped? And the TSA date rapes you at the airport, sends you through naked body scanners. No terrorism is stopped. And if you remember the San Bernardino shooters were also under investigation by the FBI, but they were pulled off that investigation because of political correctness. It seems that this is the same case here. Under investigation for being a radical Islamic terrorist, but nothing is done. That's why the security state and the violation of the Fourth Amendment by the NSA, by the FBI, by all these intelligence agencies is a complete and utter fraud. We know who the threat is. It's radical Islam. There's no other people doing these terrorist attacks. But yet we continue to import them into our country because of political correctness. Hey, Obama administration, let's bring in some Christian refugees, not radical Muslim extremists who are unvetted. Do your own research about the worst U.S. shooting in history that killed 50 people at a gay nightclub in Orlando. Subscribe to this channel, speak out, and take action.
Today, as Americans, we grieve the brutal murder, a horrific massacre of dozens of innocent people. We pray for their families who are grasping for answers with broken hearts. We stand with the people of Orlando who have endured a terrible attack on their city. Although it's still early in the investigation, we know enough to say that this was an act of terror and an act of hate. And as Americans, we are united in grief, in outrage, and in resolve to defend our people. I just finished a meeting with FBI Director Comey and my Homeland Security and National Security advisors. The FBI is on the scene and leading the investigation in partnership with local law enforcement. I've directed that the full resources of the federal government be made available for this investigation. We are still learning all the facts. This is an open investigation. We've reached no definitive judgment on the precise motivations of the killer. The FBI is appropriately investigating this as an act of terrorism, and I've directed that we must spare no effort to determine what, if any, inspiration or association this killer may have had with terrorist groups. What is clear is that he was a person filled with hatred. Over the coming days, we will uncover why and how this happened, and we will go wherever the facts lead us. This morning I spoke with my good friend Orlando Mayor Buddy Dyer, and I conveyed to him the deepest condolences of the American people. This could have been any one of our communities. So I told Mayor Dyer that whatever help he and the people of Orlando need, they are going to get it. As a country, we will be there for the people of Orlando today, tomorrow, and for all the days to come. We also express our profound gratitude to all the police and first responders who rushed to harm's way. Their courage and professionalism saved lives and kept the carnage from being even worse. It's the kind of sacrifice that our law enforcement professionals make every single day for all of us, and we can never thank them enough. This is an especially heartbreaking day for all of our friends, our fellow Americans who are lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender. The shooter targeted a nightclub where people came together to be with friends, to dance and to sing and to live. The place where they were attacked is more than a nightclub. It is a place of solidarity and empowerment where people have come together to raise awareness, to speak their minds, and to advocate for their civil rights. So this is a sobering reminder that attacks on any American, regardless of race, ethnicity, religion, or sexual orientation, is an attack on all of us and on the fundamental values of equality and dignity that define us as a country. And no act of hate or terror will ever change who we are or the values that make us Americans. Today marks the most deadly shooting in American history. The shooter was apparently armed with a handgun and a powerful assault rifle. This massacre is therefore a further reminder of how easy it is for someone to get their hands on a weapon that lets them shoot people in a school, or in a house of worship, or a movie theater, or in a nightclub. And we have to decide if that's the kind of country we want to be. And to actively do nothing is a decision as well. In the coming hours and days, we'll learn about the victims of this tragedy. Their names, their faces, who they were, the joy that they brought to families and to friends, and the difference that they made in this world. Say a prayer for them, and say a prayer for their families. That God give them the strength to bear the unbearable, and that He give us all the strength to be there for them, and the strength and courage to change. We need to demonstrate that we are defined more as a country by the way they live their lives than by the hate of the man who took them from us. As we go together, we will draw inspiration from heroic and selfless acts. Friends who helped friends, took care of each other, and saved lives. In the face of hate and violence, we will love one another. We will not give in to fear or turn against each other. Instead, we will stand united as Americans to protect our people and defend our nation and to take action against those who threaten us. May God bless the Americans we lost this morning. May He comfort their families. May God continue to watch over this country that we love. Thank you.
Hey, loser.
Leave me alone.
When a child shares hurtful comments online, that's bullying. Visit erasebullying.ca to learn how to help your child stand up to cyberbullying.
Welcome to the Bananas in Pajamas Super Show.
Narkomaner i pyjamas kan ikke lade være at grine. Narkomaner i pyjamas skal skaffe heroin. Narkomaner i pyjamas, de stjæler hvad de kan. De elsker kokain og hash og også ketogan.
What do I have to do to get noticed? I must step out from my memories. I need to do something that could accomplish.
Destroy Russia.
Oh, well done, King Legan, I couldn't be more of an explode in my Pokemon package. I need someone even smarter, someone who thwarted my evil plans in the past.
That's it. I shall destroy Edward Gill. Bwahahahahahaha.
What was that? I must be hearing something. Wow, what one heckload of Pokemon comic books. Good thing I can read them all.
Will you please knock it off? I'm trying to read. Don't you dare start with that sound.
Boba Fett came to Cuddles Avenue town. It must have been patient. Ha! This clue is found. I'll look for more at once.
Reading at Toys R Us is I never soon forget.
You ruined my day. You ruined my afternoon. You ruined my lunch. And you ruined my